Hi everyone, my name is Jena, and I just watched a video from BuzzFeed that was called Mass Shootings in Me, and as I watched it, I realized that I am sort of in the same boat as Eugene, the speaker in the video. I have lived through countless mass shootings, not personally, but in my lifetime there have been countless that have occurred. I am 25 years old, so I was born in 1991, and the big ones, of course, were Columbine and the Virginia Tech Massacre, and then Sandy Hook, and then, of course, recently the Pulse shooting. And at the time that all of these happened, like Columbine, Sandy Hook, and Virginia Tech, I was a student, so I kind of felt the pain of these people. I remember being in high school in my town, and there was one week where we had bomb threats for a week straight. And, excuse me. And it was only about a year after the Virginia Tech Massacre, so of course these were taken even more seriously than usual. Well, then after a week of bomb threats, there was one day where someone called into my school and told whoever it was that answered the phone that he or she, I believe it was a male caller, said they had a list of specific targets and they were going to come in with a rifle and cut down everyone that was on that list. And I was terrified. I remember going to my mother and crying and begging for her to not send me to school because I was so scared. And at that time in my life, I'm not going to go into super detail because that's not what this video is about. At that time in my life, going to school and being with my friends and doing work and being in classes, it was a time of my life where my depression was horrible. And going to school kept me sane and kept me level and kept me happy, kept me wanting to go on. So when I went to my mother and begged her, and I mean like bawling, runny nose, sniffling, tears running down my cheeks, begging her not to send me to school because I was so scared, that should say something. And to anybody that knows me that sees this, they know why. They know all the details of that, so they will understand this more than anyone. Now, I was scared for me, even though I didn't have any like struggles or beefs or feuds or whatever you want to call it with anybody at the school at the time. But because people that may not be necessarily the targets, they get hurt and killed as collateral damage all the time. And sometimes there are no specific targets, it's just kill as many people as possible, and that's that. And I was scared for my friends too, because even if I didn't get, hurt or killed in one of these shootings, what if I had to watch one of them get hurt or killed, or deal with the fact that one of them was hurt or killed? My friends are the family that I chose. So, that loss is not, thankfully, something I've not had to deal with yet. Now, thank God no one came into my school and hurt anyone, which is great, but the fact that I was so scared and that I was begging not to go to school should tell people things, because I had this fear because the prospect of someone coming into my school and mowing down an incredible number of people, whether it's 1 or 100, was not unheard of. And it wasn't even that uncommon at the time, or throughout my entire lifetime. Children and friends and sisters and brothers and girlfriends and boyfriends and loved ones are being murdered. And I'm sorry. And something needs to be done about it, and nothing is being done about it except for arguing on the internet or people furthering their political agendas about it. But something needs to change and something needs to be done. Now, whether it's putting a stop to bullying because Columbine was the result of bullying, or it's mandatory psychological screening for anyone who wants firearms, I don't know. And even doing psychological screening for people seeking firearms, that might not even work, because just because we crack down on gun laws for law-abiding citizens doesn't mean the bad guys are going to follow the laws, which is why I don't think we should take guns away. I just think that screenings for them should be a little more thorough. But something has to change. Fear spreads like a disease, and so do violence and hate. And our country and our world and our generation are infected. And at this point, I feel like we're rotting. And I don't know what's going to cure us. But I really hope and pray that we find it soon. Because you never know when it's going to happen, who it's going to happen to. And it's a terrifying prospect. It really is. That, especially like now, because me, myself, I am part of the LGBTQ community. I am proudly bisexual, and one of my best friends in the entire world is happily waiting to marry the woman of her dreams, and I am so happy for them. But to think that, we could be at Pride, or we could be at a club, or we could be anywhere, and somebody know that we were part of the LGBTQ community and they can just mow us down. I mean, that could happen regardless of mass shootings, but being killed for the fact that we love someone that isn't the social norm is horrible. It's disgusting. Just like when people kill for racial reasons or religious reasons or anything like that. It's disgusting. It's hate, and it's ugly, and it needs to change. I know that not everyone is going to love each other, because that's not human nature. Human nature is to defend and to be protective, and unfortunately to be violent. But human nature, for some, is also to accept and to love, and I'm hoping that we can learn from those people. If we can, I think we're going to save a lot of lives. But the way to get to that point, I don't know what it is. I just hope that people see my video and the video on BuzzFeed and understand that we can't continue to live like this. And the one shooting that just floors me is Sandy Hook. Those were little kids, babies. They hadn't even started living yet. Not saying that any of the other shootings aren't important, but they were small children, and nothing was done except arguing. This needs to change. I have lost people in my life to causes of death that weren't mass shootings, and it hurt me a lot. But to know that people are suffering because someone decided, oh, I don't like this group of people, I'm just going to take out as many as I can. It terrifies me, it makes me cry, and it's something I hope that we can change somehow. There is hope for this world and this generation, because I know there are people in this world that are accepting and loving and will try to do the right thing and will try to protect people, and I don't know. Now I'm repeating myself, but I really hope that we can change, because this humanity, not just our generation, but humanity as a whole, is not going to survive long if we continue to hate and to murder and to maim and to shoot and everything else that we do to each other for stupid reasons. So I hope this gets through to some people. And if my video doesn't, please check out BuzzFeed's video called Mass Shootings and Me. It is way more informative as far as the different shootings that we as millennials have lived through. And it's probably a lot more eloquent than what I've been saying. But that's just how I view this whole situation. So please, if you can stop someone from bullying or help somebody who has been going through hard times, has been thinking of hurting themselves or others, call the police, try to help them through it, try to, please, just anything. Like, just try to help people, please.